Hey, Shalom, Mashallah. I want to start off as always by giving all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Makar Kudash, that belongs to the apostles of GMS, and honors to brothers doing the work in truth, war, sincerity. It's a quick one on the Igbo landing. I'm not too sure how that, the brothers from that part of the world, they'll know better how to pronounce that, but, as it's written, the Igbo landing, right? It says, is a historic site at Dunbar Creek on St. Simons Island, Glynn County, Georgia. It was the setting of a mass suicide in 1803 by captive Igbo people who had taken control of their slave ship and refused to submit to slavery in the United States, right? The event's moral value as a story of resistance towards slavery has symbolic importance in African American folklore and literary history. Right, so basically what happened, you had Jakes, from the west coast of Africa, Nigeria, right, basically get overthrow their the captors, right. It goes on to say, in May 1803, a shipload of captive West Africans, upon surviving the Middle Passage, were landed by U.S. paid captors in Savannah by slave ship to be auctioned off right at one of the local slave markets. Right, it says the ship's enslaved passengers included a number of Igbo people from what is now Nigeria. The Igbo what were known by planters and slavers of the American South, being fiercely independent and resistant to chattel slavery. Yeah, I mean, who wants to go into slavery, man? You don't want to go into slavery, right? You're fiercely independent and resistant to chattel slavery, right? But you gonna go, but you gonna pay Esau, the so-called white man, for what you did for events like this. This is your history, right? This is your history as well. Right, you don't want to talk about it, but that is, one of the reasons why both of us are in the situation that we're in, Esau and Jake, right? This is the group of 75 enslaved Igbo people were brought by agents of John Cooper and Tom Spaulding for forced labor on the plantation in Simon's Island for $100 each. The chained enslaved people were packed under the deck of a small vessel named the Schooner York to be shipped to the island. Other sources say the voyage took place aboard the Morovia. During this voyage, the Igbo slaves rose up in rebellion, taking control of the ship and drowning their captors. And because you gotta always remember, there would only ever be, and this is proof it was the Lord that took us down. We're gonna get the curses also, right? Because you would have like what a handful of of slave masters, and slavers on the ship, but you'd have a whole load of Jake. Yeah, they were shackled down, but Jake is stronger than Esau, man. Right? But that's one of the reasons Esau has his blessing, the sword, which is the gun, right? And that makes that basically tips the balance of the scales. When you got a gun and the other person's fighting with the fist, right? It's not that easy for the other person with the fist, right? But in terms of pure numbers, man, it's just proof it was the Lord that took Israel down, right? Because there's no way that this weak man would have been able to do it otherwise, right? It says taking control of the ship and drowning their captors, right? In the process, causing the grounding of the Morovia in Dunbar Creek at the site now locally known as Igbo Landing. Right, it says the following sequence of events is unclear, as there are several versions of the revolt's development, some of which are considered mythological. Apparently, the Africans went ashore and subsequently, under the director of a high Igbo chief among them, walked in unison into the creek, singing the Igbo language. The water spirit brought us, the water spirit will take us home, right? And this is another reason why Jake got taken down, because really they should have been saying, hey, look, Yahweh brought us, right? Yahweh was the person that's put us in this situation, right? But Jake, following idols, going into this philosophy, that philosophy, right? And that's one of the reasons we got taken down, right? Because Jake is into every philosophy under the sun, right? And you see that to this day, right? So this is basically saying on one account, right after coming off the ship, they all basically then went and committed suicide together, right? Which that's believable because, hey, who wants to go into slavery, right? The punishment, and it's knowing the hell that Esau would have put on them, right? For anyone who didn't, I don't know if all of them did, but I know certainly some of them would have definitely done something like that, right? And the reason I say that is because, like I said, we know what this man is like. You think them Jakes that killed them Edomite slaves would have had an easy a life after that? Esau would have made them pay. Esau would have brought a pure hell upon them. As the apostles were going into last week in regards to Levi, the tribe of Levi, right? In Haiti, they took down Esau, and Haiti's been having to pay ever since, right? Esau's made sure that they have to pay. So them Jakes that took down these Edomites, if they got caught, right, they would have caught pure unadulterated hell, right? But it's the thing with history. Sometimes you just don't know really what happened, right? We'll get into the scriptures. This is Deuteronomy 28:65. Among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but Yahweh shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind, right? So once again, them Israelites, right? They wouldn't have caught them Igbos, right? Igbo Israelites, right? They wouldn't have. Let me not say it like that. You're right. But them Israelites had been taken from, the Igbo tribes in Nigeria, right? They would have had no rest, right? And to this day, Israel has no rest, right? We haven't got no rest under this man, right? Because this isn't our rest. This is a place of our captivity. You read that in Micah 2:10, right? Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, right? So at the moment we spiritually departed, brothers have spiritually departed, and it's a process. Some new brothers are departing, right, from this man's kingdom, right? And the Lord, will do certain things for a brother's mind to start being like, what, fuck this place, right? But at the moment, we are still here. We are yet this day in our captivity, right? It says, neither shall so it says, and among these nations shall thou find no ease, right? And once again, to this day, whether it's a Jake in America, or Jake in Britain, right? Or Jake in land of Elam, or Jake in the land of Moab, right? All Israelites are catching hell around the heathens that we're at, right? It says, and thy life shall hang in doubt before thee, and thou shalt fear day and night, and shall have none assurance of thy life. Then this would have been more so, yeah, like I was saying, if they got caught, them Jakes that killed them Edomites, that would have been more so, right? Because them devils wouldn't have let that's be they wouldn't have let that pass, that act. But they would have made sure that them Jakes paid for what they did, right? But hey, we're gonna come up to a time, right? I'll go and get some revenge precepts in a minute, right? We're gonna come up to a time when we're gonna be able to do to Esau whatever we will, whatever we want to do, right? And as his brother in the camp always, used to say, and none shall interfere, right? In copying that character Bane from Batman, right? That was one of the quotes he says. Hey, do as you please, none shall interfere. And that's what we're going to be doing to Esau, right? And in righteousness, because he did it to us, right? It says, in the morning thou shalt say, would God it were even. And at even thou shalt say, would God it were morning. For the fear of thine heart wherewith thou shalt fear, and for the sight of thine eyes which thou shalt see, right? And that's what them Jakes would have been escaping. They wouldn't have wanted to go through this, right? I wouldn't have wanted to go through this. It says, and Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. And modern day Egypt is America, right? You read Revelations 11 and 8. It talks about a place that is spiritually Sodom and spiritually Egypt, right? Which is America, spiritually Sodom, right? Because that's where America's the beacon of homosexuality, right? Spiritually Egypt, because Egypt represents bondage, right? And that's the land wherein we were led into bondage, right? And not only that, right? Well, you look at that as powers have always said. You look at the back of the dollar bill. What do you see? You see what do you call? You see a pyramid, right? But not the pyramid styled like the ones in Latin America, but pyramid styled like the ones in Egypt, man. It says, "Thou shalt see it no more." So I'll carry on. It says, "And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt together with ships. By the way, wherever I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen." Right? And that's what happened. We were sold. And that's what those Israelites from the land of Igbo, tribe of Igbo, right? They would have, that would have been their fate had they allowed themselves to stay, or to stay alive, right? Which is why I say personally, I believe that they, if not all of them, then a large majority of them would have, committed that suicide, right? Right, to go from a land being free, doing what you're doing, then to go into chattel slavery, right? The first thing you see, you're under, in the belly of a ship for ages, right? And then you see the way these guys are treating you. That's just on a journey, right? So you gonna be thinking to yourself, look, man, these guys are cruel, right? Scriptures talk about the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel, right? So as referencing Esau, he's cruel, right? Even when he's trying to be kind, he's cruel, right? He's the devil, man, right? So they would have been like, yo, you know what? But these guys are cruel already, and we just killed them. So imagine what happens if they get we get caught. And then it ends off that verse by saying, "And no man shall buy you." And this is talking about redemption. No man shall redeem you. You had several guys that tried to redeem Israel, right? But ultimately all failed. Scriptures talk about if the Lord buildeth the house, right? If the Lord doesn't build the house, they labor in vain, them that build it. Right? So there ain't no point trying to take this man down. This is his kingdom, right? This is his kingdom, not ours. Right? We're in slavery, right? In fact, if we right, so it says Deuteronomy 32 and 6 says, "Do ye thus requite the Lord, O fool, requite Yahweh, O foolish people and unwise? Is not he thy father that hath bought thee?" Right, so we just read that no man shall buy thee, right? And it says here in the breakdown, it says the Hebrew word for bought, kanat, is the same as buying, Deuteronomy 28 and 68, right? So this is basically saying no man shall redeem you. That there's the proof, right? It says, hath he not made thee and established thee, right? This is Joel 3 and 3. "And they have cast lots for my people, and have given the boyfriend harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they may drink," right? So that's once again that is what would have happened to those Israelites, man, right? They would have been sold, right? Their sons would have been, and it is their sons. Their sons would have been given to these freaks, and they would have done whatever they will to their sons, right? And then they would have sold their daughters would have been sold off, right? And and Esau's got to pay for all of this, and he will, right? What does it say in Galatians? Was it 4:16? No. Okay, where is it? Choose it. 6 and 7, Salah. Galatians 6 and 7 says, be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Right? So Esau did this, and he thinks he's gotten away with it. Right? Let me get that as well. It's Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Right? So basically, this man, right, he's been, because he ain't got the judgment, right? He's just like, okay, cool, I'm gonna carry on doing what I'm doing, right? But the Lord is remembering what he's done, right? He thinks he's gotten away with it, but nah, he ain't gotten away with it, right? So Revelation 18 and 5, right? It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquity, right? It's talking about Babylon the Great, right? Once again, representative of America, right? That's the land wherein we were held captive, right? That land is full of the blood of the northern kingdom, right? Because Esau went over there, took them down, killed them, right? And the southern kingdom, right? Because Esau came, picked us, the brothers from the southern kingdom and brought them into over there in slavery, right? It says, for her sins are reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered their iniquities. Right? Scriptures talk about the basically, roughly paraphrasing, Judah and Ephraim were pressed together, roughly paraphrasing. In fact, I think that's a direct quote, right? Because that's what happened, and that's why that land is so filthy, and that's why that land is going to be completely destroyed. Right? It goes on to say, reward her even as she rewarded you. So you brought the children of Israel into slavery, so you gonna go into slavery. You killed the Northern American, the brothers Gad and Reuben, right? Known colloquially as, not colloquially, but known in the world as Northern, the Native Americans, right? And the Seminole Indians, right? You killed and massacred them. So that's going to happen to you, right? It says, and double unto a double according to our works, right? So what you did to Jake, right, that's going to happen to you manyfold, right? Because that double's not a literal double, right? You did some wicked shit to Jake. So we going to do, we going to reward you for your wickedness, right? We going to reward you, right? It says, in the cup which she had filled to her double, right? And that cup was slavery. So you gonna go into slavery, man. You gonna suffer. And there were certain things that you did to Jake that we can't do to you, right? So, but the thing is, we got that spiritual power. We'll have that spiritual power. So we'll be getting you in ways, in imaginative ways that you can't even, think about, right? You was buck breaking Jake, man. You was sodomizing our sons, right? You was raping our women as an Israelite man, as basically as her husband, lay on the bed right next to her, no, without any power to do anything. Right? You got a lot to pay for, man. But we can't do any of those things to you. Right, but we, like, once again, we will have that spiritual power, and we gon' play with you, Esau, man. We gon' play with you. It says Exodus 21:16, and he that stealeth a man and selleth them, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Right? So Esau, we're still found in your hands to this day. And you're gonna be put down, man. Right? You're gonna serve 1,000 years of hardcore slavery, and after the end of that, right, you're done. You're finished. It says Isaiah 14 and 2 says, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and shall rule over their oppressors, right? And that's all you heathens, man. You read Psalms 83, right? All the heathens came together to bring Israel down, right? So guess what? You all gonna be brought down, right? Every last one of you all gonna be brought down, man. All right, it says in and you're going to go into captivity, right? And you're going to serve us, right? We're going to own you, right? This is Isaiah 14, verse 21 now. It says, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquities of their fathers. Right, these devils, they think they, gotten away with it, that they can say, oh, oh, it was my father, this was this, it was, history, oh, it wasn't me. No, it was you, right? It was you, right? But through a thing called reincarnation, it was you, right? Just like how them, Jakes, yeah, they may have, died in that life, but then they would have been, they would have woken up in slavery, right? They would have been reincarnated into slavery, and in fact, in their life, and that's just the way it works, right? Because all Israel ultimately went into captivity one way or another, right? By process of reincarnation, right? Because there were several captivities. Because as a nation, Israel went off. As the whole nation, Israel went off, man. Right, so that's why the Lord had to chastise us. That's why the Lord, had to then ultimately sacrifice His Son, right, for the hopeful redemption. Well, not for the hopeful, but for the redemption of Israel, right, so that there was a way that the children of Israel could be brought back, right. This is Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled. Right, yeah, because you just went and you started taking, for no reason. Right? It says, and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. Right? So people will be peaceable to this devil, and then he'll just be the devil to them. Right? You look at the story of the Native Americans. This man wouldn't have survived without, our brothers, right? Gad and Reuben, right? When Esau went over there to the Americas, but guess what? He killed them. He massacred them. Right? The real Holocaust. It says, and when thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. Yeah, so you going to get dealt treacherously, man. This is revenge in the scriptures. And that's the thing. That's why he pushed plantation Christianity on our people, right? So that they could become docile, so that they could decide against, so that they could decide against basically making this man pay. But you go and pay, because the Lord go and put the right spirit into the people who need to have the right spirit, and they go and deal with you, Esau. And in the kingdom, all Israel's going to have the right spirit, and all Israel's going to deal with you, and these heathens as well. You read that in Isaiah 14. Right, they're gonna look at you sideways, Esau, man. Right? It says Jeremiah 13:16 says, therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversary, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Right, so this is a role reversal, right? Repeating the same points, right? Of basically what you did to us gonna happen to you. Right? You put us in captivity, we gonna put you into captivity, and you gonna be spoiled, right? And the curse is gonna be coming upon you, man. It says Deuteronomy 30:7, I believe. Right? It says, and Yahweh, thy power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. And you started seeing that with these Moabites, man. Right? These Moabites be getting, they're the proverb and the byword. They're the proverb and the byword right now, man. But hey, as always, Lord's will, that was edifying. Till the next time, Shalom.